Hi, third graders. Let's check our work for language arts, page 414 and page 415. So today's assignment was to learn about adverbs that tell how. So remember, an adverb describes the action. So let's look at the rules box. It says some adverbs tell how an action takes place. So we're reading this sentence. It says, Don enters the room quietly. So we need to look at the sentence and decide, what did Don do? He entered the room. Now we need to ask how. How did he enter the room? Quietly. So quietly tells us how he did his action. So let's look at the rest of the paper or the page. It says adverbs that tell how usually end in ly. That means most of the time, not always, but a lot of the times you can look for adverbs that end in ly. So you have your base word slow. You add ly, which is a suffix to the word, and you come up with slowly. Slowly is an adverb. It tells how the action happened. I slowly climb into bed. So what did I do? I climbed. And how did I climb? Slowly. Quick plus ly is now quickly. I quickly fall asleep. What did I do? Fall asleep. How did I fall asleep? Quickly. So it's describing the action. The directions in numbers 1 through 5 say name the adverb that tells how in each sentence. Then name the verb it tells more about. So we're going to follow the directions for the example for our assignment. The sentence says, I wake up suddenly. So what did I do? I woke up. How did I wake up? Suddenly. So what you're writing is adverb that tells how. So how did I wake up? Suddenly. And then the verb it tells about is wake up. So that's how I want you to do your answers. So let's look at number 1. Shadows dance playfully on my walls. So first thing, let's look at the action. What did the shadows do? They danced. So how did they dance? Playfully. Playfully is the adverb that tells how. And then how or what was the action? It was dance. So this is the verb. So on your paper, you should have adverb that tells how, playfully, and verb it tells about, dance. Number 2, I study them quietly. So first of all, what did I do? Study. And then how did I study? Quietly. So on your paper, the adverb is quietly, and it's telling me that I studied quietly. So the verb is study. Number 3, the moonlight shines brightly. So what does the moonlight do? It shines. How does the moonlight shine? Brightly. So brightly is your adverb, and shining or shines is your verb. Number 4, the trees sway wildly. What do the trees do? They sway. How do they sway? Wildly. So wildly is your adverb, and sway is your action verb. Number 5, I look out the window eagerly. So what do? I look. How did I look? Eagerly. That's your adverb, eagerly, and look is your action verb. Again, you can look for those adverbs that end with ly. Most of the time, adverbs that tell how will end with ly. Okay, let's look at 6 through 15 on page 415. It says some adverbs tell how an action takes place. Adverbs that tell how often end with ly. So this is a reminder from the other page. Letter A says write the sentences. So hopefully you wrote out the sentence. Underline the adverb that tells how. So you're looking for the ly words that tell how, and you're going to circle the verb that it describes. Footsteps tap loudly across the roof. So first of all, what is my verb? What did the footsteps do? They tapped, so I'm going to circle that because that's the verb. How did they tap? Loudly. So this is our adverb. Number 7, the children called their dad nervously. What did the children do? They call, and that's your verb. How did they call? Nervously. So that's your adverb. Number 8, Mr. Bond swiftly phones the police. What did Mr. Bond do? He phones. That means to call. He phones, so that's your verb, the police. How did he phone? Or how did he call? Swiftly. So that's your adverb. Number 9, a policeman answers briskly. What did the policeman do? What's the action? He answered. So that's your verb. How did he answer? Briskly. That's your adverb. Number 10, the officer talks calmly to Mr. Bond. What does the officer do? He talks. That's your verb. And how does he talk? Calmly. That's your adverb. 11, a policewoman arrives quickly. So what does a policewoman do? She arrives. So that's the verb. And then how does she arrive? Quickly. That's your adverb. Number 12, she shines a light directly on the roof. So what does she do? She shines. That's your verb. How does she shine? Directly. That's your adverb. 13, suddenly a raccoon jumps to the ground. So what does the raccoon do? He jumps. That's the verb. How does the raccoon jump? He jumps suddenly. So that's your adverb. 14, the animal quickly disappears into the woods. What does the animal do? Disappears. That's your verb. How does the animal disappear? Quickly. That's your adverb. 15, the family will rest safely, I think. What will the family do? Will rest. That's your action verb. How will the family rest? Safely. That's your adverb. Okay, boys and girls, good job checking your work. Make sure your name, the date, and the page numbers are on top of at the top right-hand corner of your paper, and put it in your red reading folder so I can collect it during our next folder exchange. Thanks, boys and girls. We'll see you next time.